Borat 2, Deadpool, and an earthquake in Turkey are all on this day. Hey, welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is October 23rd, 2020. It is the 297th day of the year. There's 69 days left in 2020, the 43rd Thursday, and the 32nd day of fall. 59 days till winter. Today is Mole Day. Has nothing to do with the rodent that lives underground. Mole Day commemorates the discovery of the scientific constant. I don't even know. I struggle with math. I don't know anything about it. This has to do with chemistry and the discovery of a formula. Yeah, that's just not me. I could write you a paper. I could tell you almost anything about history. I could talk your ear off about geography. When it comes to math, I'm just out there. Once you get past like freshman algebra, I'm completely lost. My brother, on the other hand, has a finance degree. Who knew? Anyway, if you want to look it up, Mole Day seems to be important to people that like math and chemistry and science and stuff. Not me. Anyway, moving on. Let's see what else October 23rd has given us. 1850, the first National Women's Rights Convention begins in Massachusetts. The convention combines both female and male leadership and attracts a wide base of support. Speeches were given on subjects of equal wages, expanded education, and career opportunities, women's property rights, marriage reform, and temperance. 1864, the American Civil War. The Battle of Westport is the last significant engagement west of the Mississippi River. This engagement was the turning point for Price's Missouri expedition, forcing his army to retreat. For the remainder of the war, the United States Army, the federal troops, maintained solid control over Missouri. The battle was the largest to be fought west of the Mississippi River, with over 30,000 men engaged in battle. 1906, Alberto Santos Dumont flies an airplane in the first heavier-than-air flight in Europe. He flew a distance of 197 feet at about 16 feet off the ground. 1944, during World War II, the Battle of Leyte Gulf begins. This was a serious battle in the Philippines. It included the United States forces and Australian forces versus Japan. The casualties and losses were 3,000 casualties for the Allies and about 12,500 for Japan. We lost one carrier, 2 escort carriers, 2 destroyers, and 200 planes were lost. The Japanese lost 1 fleet carrier, 3 light carriers, 3 battleships, 10 cruisers, and 11 light destroyers, along with 300 planes. So it took a toll on both, or all 3 navies, if you include Australia. They didn't have much skin in the game on this battle, but they were still there to help out. 1956, the secret police shoot several anti-communist protesters, igniting the Hungarian Revolution. During World War II, Hungary was a member of the Axis powers and allied with Nazi Germany, fascist Italy, Romania, and Bulgaria. Fearing invasion, the Hungarian government began negotiations with the Allies to, not be all invaded by the Allied forces. These talks ended when Nazi Germany invaded and occupied Hungary. German forces stationed in Hungary were subsequently defeated by the Soviet Union, and Hungary basically became part of the Soviet Union. 1958, Canada's Spring Hill mining disaster kills 75 miners, while 99 others are rescued. Spring Hill's number 2 mine was one of the deepest coal mines in the world. It was a sloping shaft that was 14,200 feet in length. Yeah, it went down a bit. 1991, Cambodia and Vietnam signed a peace accord in Paris. 2002, Chechen terrorists seized the House of Culture Theater in Moscow and take approximately 700 theatergoers hostage. Now, this thing was a total nightmare. They took the hostages, and this lasted a couple days. And it was ugly, and they tried to negotiate with them, and the terrorists just wanted Russian troops to leave Chechnya completely, just get out. They gave them like a couple days to do it, or they were going to start killing people. Well, after negotiations failed, a couple days into it, the Russian special forces decided to kind of leak a gas in through the ventilation system, which at first everyone thought it was a fire. All the hostages and the Chechen terrorists thought the place was on fire, so all this chaos happens, but it was basically an agent to put people to sleep. Well, they ended up poisoning a bunch of people too. They finally stormed the building after this gas had knocked most of everyone out, and a bunch of people got killed. Now, according to official numbers, 40 terrorists and about 130 hostages died during the raid or in the following days. There's all kinds of conspiracy theories that it was many more died of the theater goers, but 130 is a high number regardless. 2002, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake strikes Van province in Turkey, killing 582 people and injuring thousands. Movies released on October 23rd. 1992, Reservoir Dogs, Quentin Tarantino's movie. It was like his film debut as a writer and director. This movie is really, really weird. It's a thriller. It's kind of ugly, though. A lot of violence in it. If you're not into violence, never watch this movie because it's kind of graphic. But had Steve Buscemi in it. Quentin Tarantino played a role. Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, Harvey Keitel, Chris Penn, who actually died, I think, in 2005 or 6. Anyway, one of Sean Penn's brothers. Lawrence Tierney, and Edward Bunker. This was a great movie, but yeah, the violence was a little rough. 1998, Pleasantville is released. Reese Witherspoon, Paul Walker, Tobey Maguire, Jeff Daniels, William H. Macy, and Don Knotts. Yeah, Don Knotts was in this movie. Love Don Knotts. Anyway, this was a really entertaining movie about two siblings that get thrown into their favorite 1950s sitcom, but they bring some color to it. So the whole movie's filmed black and white until these two siblings get there. And then as people start seeing a different way to live, it starts gaining color. So it's a weird artistic thing, but it's a great movie. You can watch it with your kids. And released today, 2020, October 23rd, Borat 2 was released on Amazon Prime. Everyone's favorite Kazakhstani television personality returns to direct the sequel to his 2006 comedy, Borat. If you haven't seen Borat, it's pretty weird, but this one's supposed to be even extra weird, if you could imagine. It was supposed to be out in theaters, but because of the pandemic and all that, Amazon Studios picked it up, and they're releasing it today. Watch that one. Should be weird. Born on October 23rd, 1976, Ryan Reynolds is born. Canadian-American actor and producer. He began his acting career playing in Hillside between 1991 and 1993. Then he got bigger roles like Deadpool and Deadpool 2. He was in The Green Lantern, which was horrible, and a bunch of other movies. I like him. He's pretty entertaining. 1986, Emilia Clarke is born. If you don't know who she is, she was the dragon queen from Game of Thrones. She's been in a lot of other things, like she was just in Solo, which was a Star Wars movie. But most people know her from Game of Thrones. Died on October 23rd, 2016, we lost Pete Burns. Most people don't know who he is. He's an English singer-songwriter. If you're over 30, you probably remember him. He was in that band Dead or Alive, and he sang that song, You Spin Me Round, you know? Anyway, he died at the age of 57 due to a massive heart attack. Now, he had run into problems in his life, and he was addicted to cosmetic surgery. When he finally died, you couldn't tell who he was. His appearance was everything to him, and he just kept getting all this cosmetic surgery, and he looked like a freak at the end, sadly. I mean, I liked his music. It wasn't just that You Spin Me Round song. He had other good songs that I liked in the 80s and 90s, but yeah, that was tragic. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out and have a successful Friday. Be nice to each other.